What's up, everybody? This is Marcy with the 101 Boxing Podcast. I don't got my boy Reef here with me today. He had some business he had to handle. We just got a quick episode for y'all today. Our goal is still to provide y'all with the best boxing content out, breakdowns, predictions, in-depth analysis, breaking news, and anything boxing. Today's topics are Bud Crawford has been receiving a lot of backlash for his relationship with Victor Conte and SNAC. I'm going to talk to y'all, give y'all my opinion on that. Artur Beterbiev has been added to that already stacked ring card in November with Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney, and Anthony Yard, and David Benavidez, et cetera, et cetera. Connor Benn and Chris Eubank, after reports that the fight was off, is now back on for November. Talking about that. And also, Lamont Roach has been going back and forth with the Russells, and there's been a lot of, talks around Lamont Roach because the Tank fight is probably not going to happen anytime. It's not going to happen anytime soon, if at all. So I wanted to give y'all my opinion on what I think should be next for Lamont Roach. I want to start with Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford has been receiving a lot of heat lately for his relationship with Victor Conte and SNAC as he gears up to face Canelo Alvarez. And for me, I just think that this is starting to feel like a distraction campaign more than like a legitimate concern. Like, I just think that people are trying to look for something to just down Bud. Like, do I trust Victor Conte? No, I do not. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's the same guy that admitted to exploiting loopholes in the drug testing, and he basically said he knows how to cheat and get away with it. And so I don't trust him. But the part that's getting to me is that two things can be true at the same time, right? Like, you can question Victor Conte, but you can still believe in Bud. And I still believe in Bud. He's never failed a drug test. He's never had a scandal. He's always done everything the right way. He's never given us a reason to doubt his integrity as a fighter or as a man. We've always seen him have impeccable work ethic, discipline. He's climbed the ranks the hard way. He never had any shortcuts, no excuses. He's the embodiment of a champion. And the funny thing is that as much as I love Canelo, I feel like people fail to realize that Canelo has tested positive for PEDS, and it just gets swept under the rug for now. It's just tainted meat. And I feel like people are just coming at Bud for his relationship with Victor Conte, but Canelo's whole camp with Eddie Reynoso's gotten a plethora of fighters that have popped dirty for PEDs. And I don't know. I don't know where all this is coming from. This was just all random. But I feel people fail to realize that, yes, like I said, I don't trust Victor Conte. But he also has a staff of people who study the body, study nutrition. I find it real hard to believe that Bud isn't going to know what he's putting into his body. I guess what I'm saying is, let's judge Bud off of his action and his pedigree, not the people around him. Bud has given us nothing but greatness. And let's not take away from this big moment that we're going to get on September 13th between him and Canelo. That's just my thoughts on that. Like I said, I think it's unfair. Until Bud gives us a reason to doubt him, don't doubt him. That's all I have on that. I'm excited for that fight, as we all are. Moving on, Lamont Roach. Tank, got into some personal issues, and Greg Hackett said he spoke to him. He said that he'll be back next summer. The Lamont Roach rematch got pushed back into we don't know when, but Lamont Roach needs to capitalize off of this fame, the spotlight that he has right now, off of that draw, going to a draw with a pound-for-pound talent like that. I personally think Tank is the best fighter in boxing, and Lamont went out and got, a draw with him. He got to capitalize off of this. And I think there's two ways that he can capitalize off of this. He can either take the Shakur route, which would be probably maybe later on this year, maybe the top of next year. The only thing about that is, Shakur just took a lot of punishment in his last fight. He dished out a lot of punishment as well. And, he has bad hands. So Shakur might want to rest a little bit. Maybe that's a route he could go. Or he could play the DMV route. And he's been talking back and forth on Twitter with the Russells. He wants to fight Gary Antoine Russell at 140. He'd be essentially moving up 2 weight classes because he only had one fight at 135. So if he could go that route, and I do think that he's big enough to do that, but it could just be a whole big DMV thing. He could even go fight Keyshawn. Keyshawn is looking to build his name back up after the incident that he had a few months ago. He can go fight Keyshawn. He could fight Gary Antoine Russell. He could fight Gary Russell Jr. He said he don't want to fight Gary Russell Jr. But they can all mix and match that somehow and make it a DMV thing. They could fight at the Wizards Arena or one of the schools in the DMV area and just try to make it a big spectacle that we would all watch, but also the DMV would show up and show out for. So I think that's something Lamont Roach needs to do. And I think he needs to do it quick because, boxing is a sport where it's what have you done for me lately? It's almost been 6 months since the draw. Next thing you know is going to be a year. Like, I think he needs to get on this quick and fast, and I'm looking forward to whatever it is he decides to do. Artur Beterbiev has been added to the ring card in November 22nd. That already has Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes. Bam is on that card. His opponents slipping my mind right now. Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr., David Benavidez and Anthony Yard. This card is completely stacked, and then you throw Beterbiev on there on top of it. This is going to be a show. For Beterbiev, taking on Dion Nicholson, I think this is a good test for him. Dion Nicholson's a power puncher. We'll get to see where Beterbiev's chin is at. Beterbiev is 40 years old, so that power might be dwindling down. We get to see where his power's at. We just get to, gauge where he's at as he's waiting for Bivol to take on the trilogy. I personally feel like the trilogy is not necessary because I felt like Bivol won the first fight. Obviously, he won the second fight. But we'll be able to gauge Beterbiev. We'll be able to gauge where he's at, and we'll see how this goes. I'm excited for this. This card is stacked from top to bottom. November can't come fast enough. Last but not least, after reports that Conor Benn and Chris Eubank was off and it wasn't going to happen, it's back on. The ring tells us it'll be back in London in November. So November is a stacked month. I'm excited for that fight. I think this fight doesn't look favorable for Chris Eubank just because of what he had to go through with the weight cut the last time. And I thought there was a really close fight. He won the championship round, so I seen how he got the edge. But I think that fight took a lot out of him. Hopefully it's as good as the last one. And that's all I got for y'all. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Until next time, one of one.